All right, it's been a busy day. Let's jump into it now. Joining me, Sky News host of the US Report, James Morrow, of course, Daily Telegraph National Affairs editor. James, welcome. I'll just stay with Alice Springs because the day after he lost Julie and Lisa, after Lisa resigned, Peter Dutton was in Alice Springs today, met with a whole lot of locals, wanted to take up their fight after another outbreak of crime and violence over the Easter weekend. We heard from the opposition leader and Jacinta Price in that package. Here's Darren Clark. My viewers will know him, the local baker who shouldered much of the fight to save his town, speaking to the media this afternoon.
It's wonderful, and I'm very thankful that he's actually walking the streets. He walked the streets today. And that's what you've got to do as a leader. You've got to walk the streets and you've got to talk to the people and you've got to hear the truth. I try and put the truth out there. No one wants to listen. So, mate, I thank you very much for coming up. I know the people of Alice will. Over to you.
James, this is a town and a community at breaking point, and this is the inconvenient truth, I think, for federal Labor, that what they're proposing with a whole bunch of elites in Canberra is not going to deal with the issues on the ground, and I think this is the strength of the Liberals' position.
Well, I think it is the strength of the Liberals' position, and Peter Dutton has already spent more time in Alice Springs, I think, today than Anthony Albanese did during the whole crisis when he popped in for a couple of hours and then jetted off to the tennis. But, you know, Peter Dutton can't afford to be glib about this or, you know, in any way say, well, we're talking more to people on the ground, because the fact of the matter is this referendum is going to be decided by the Australian people, a majority of people in a majority of states. And when I was listening to your editorial, Peter, at the start of the show, I wanted to stand up and cheer, except I was attached to this earpiece and microphone, because what you said about Jacinta Price is absolutely correct. And they really, if they want to make the case that this referendum is going to be destructive, that's going to be divisive, that's going to do a lot more harm than any of the well-intentioned good that's floating around it, they need Jacinta Price. They need somebody out there prosecuting that case. I think that, you know, as well-intentioned as his message that, you know, this is a Canberra voice and then all the regional stuff is, I don't think people are really going to get that. And I think people need to understand why, the positive point of the no case. And I think Jacinta Price articulates that better than just about anybody. And, you know, as you say, those party room machinations, people out there on the street don't care, but there's a real you know, danger, not just for Peter Dutton's leadership, but really, I think, for the country, if the country is saddled with this thing, this voice that allows potentially the high courts to have all sorts of jurisdiction over the parliament, allows it to propose all sorts of things, shadow governance, divisiveness in the community. I just think that Price is the right move here.
Look, I've been involved in 10 years worth of these reshuffles. They're always fraught for the Liberal leader, but I think he's got to bite the bullet. I think he's got to make, as you say, a tough decision in the nation's interest. He might bruise a couple of Libs along the way. He'll give the Nats 2% more say in the shadow cabinet, 2% more, but it ensures, I think, Australia has its best fighting chance of defeating this voice. So I hope, well, I'm going to write about it tomorrow in The Australian as well. I hope someone's listening there in Canberra.